dedicated by President Franklin D. Roosevelt during the observance of the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, July 3rd, 1938.
Distinguished since 1973 during the oil embargo, and by an act of Congress, no memorials other than President Kennedy's gravesite at Arlington, Virginia, could have a natural gas flame. In 1976, a light bulb was installed in the monument, and I've said in the past that when they removed the flame from this beautiful monument, that they took the heart out of the memorial. So it's been a personal crusade of mine for many years to see that we relight the flame at the memorial here. The effort began about a year ago with the upcoming celebration here in 1988 of the 125th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, and also the 50th anniversary of the dedication of the Peace Memorial by Franklin Roosevelt in 1938. Throughout these open fields, there were estimated to be 150,000 people here for that dedication. We're hopeful this year that the President of the United States will come here 50 years later and to rededicate this light, and I think very appropriate if we can have the flame back on top of this beautiful memorial. Governor Casey of Pennsylvania will be presiding at this affair, and there'll be tens of thousands of people here and thousands of participants in the actual ceremony, which will be an all-day ceremony on July the 3rd. The dedication ceremonies will begin at 6 p.m. in the evening after many activities here during the day. The Mount Rushmore American flag, which is 9 stories high, will be presented to myself as chairman of the State Commission of the Battle Anniversary, along with the Superintendent of the National Park, John Ernst, up in Boston Harbor on the USS Constitution, where it's placed in safekeeping every year. And the theme for that Mount Rushmore flag this year is on to Gettysburg, and will relate to the New England states and the Union troops and their participation of the battle here in 1863. That flag will be placed here at 1:30 in the afternoon. There'll be a large crane over here, and a portion of that flag, as it's unfurled, will touch the portion of the monument. Later in the afternoon, it will be moved into place and drape the monument as it was draped with an American flag at the original dedication. And then when the monument is rededicated, the flag will be undraped and present the monument. I hope at that moment, about 8 p.m. that evening, that also we will be relighting the flame in the urn up there. To make this possible, I just want to make a personal note here that my personal interest in this project goes back to my uncle, who had the original concept for this flame memorial. He wanted to leave a lasting memory to the last reunion of the blue and gray troops who came here in this union. There were over 1,500 Confederate and Union troops that came here, and their average age was 92 years old. Several of them died during this visit, and he wanted to leave a different type memorial, so he came up with the idea of this flame on top of the memorial. And he was the editor of the local Gettysburg paper here for many years. He passed away in 1971, but I know he'd be happy if his favorite monument on the battlefield, the flame could be relit. Last year, the Secretary of the Interior said that this was not going to happen because the federal government was not going to pay the annual cost of the gas bill. So we took the approach that if we came up with the funding, we probably could get approval through the National Park Service and the Secretary that funding would be available from private sources, and we could get that approval. And the local Chamber of Commerce dropped their support of relighting the project, and that probably was the lowest moment in the campaign. And we started talking to some people, and they encouraged us to proceed with it. I talked to our local gas company in this area, Columbia Gas, and said that they would be supportive of anything that they could do in relighting of the monument. And then certain newspaper stories brought the phone calls from other interested people. And many of the local people here have offered their small contributions of support to this project, as well as several corporations. So I'm happy today to introduce several people who have put this project together, and I think now we're looking for the final approval from the National Park Service to proceed here to relight the monument July the 3rd. 3 York corporations have come forth and put together a contribution of $8,500, which was the original cost estimate to fuel this memorial, as it was based on the figures of the amount of gas it used in 1973. Since that time, the Pennsylvania Natural Gas Association has come forward, along with Columbia Gas engineer, and their figures have said that we probably can supply the gas to this monument for about approximately $4,000 a year, because the gas producers of Pennsylvania will give the gas directly from the wellhead at wholesale cost. There'll be no middleman cost, and with a more efficient burner up there, the technology over the old burner, which burned here 15 years ago, burn more efficiency, that they can increase the efficiency of their cost as well. So with all those things involved here, this is what happened. And I'd like to say that we started with construction, Columbia Gas, and at this time I'd like to introduce Jack Klein, who is the general manager of Columbia Gas in this area. Along with him is his construction superintendent, Charles McMaster, and a fellow who's really worked closely with me, the governmental representative to Pennsylvania from Columbia Gas, Terry Murphy, who's been in and out of my office many times and communicating, and has really helped us put this together. So, Jack, how about an update on the construction of the Columbia Gas lines burner?
Thank you, Ken. Basically, we're ready to install the burner. We have one part that's been ordered, and as soon as it comes in, we can then make the thing functional. We test fired the apparatus at our service center, and everything works fine that way. All our construction work, as far as from the main to the meter, has been completed, as well as from the meter to where the burner is going to sit.
We'll talk about the removal of the electric grid.
Yeah, we will be coordinating with the Park Service when we can remove the electrical apparatus and install the burner. And as soon as a date is set for that, then we'll proceed with that matter too. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. We would like to now recognize the 3 corporations from York County to present a check, and that will be Jim Stipe, who incidentally is an Adams County, former Adams County resident. His parents own the well-known pheasant farm down along Route 30. Jim is now the general manager of Modern Landfill Incorporated in York County, and 2 construction firms have gone along with Jim in this project. Representing Hamilton Construction is Chip Gerhardt and Tim Tate from Stewart & March Contractors in York County. And Tim Clark is also here with Jim Stipe. Gentlemen, and John, if you'd like to come forward, I think they want to make a presentation to you as in my capacity as the state chairman of the Battle Commission and John Ernst, superintendent of the National Park. Jim?
Okay, it's with a great deal of personal pride and pleasure, John, that I present you and Representative Cole with this check from Waste Management of North America, represented here by Tim Clark of Waste Management of York, PA, my division, which is Modern Landfill, and 2 gentlemen that have helped us a great deal, which is Chip Gerhardt from Hamilton Excavation and Tim Tate from Stewart & March Incorporated, that made this all possible. This check is for $8,500 to kick off a fundraising campaign, along with Chris Huber and WSBA, Susquehanna Broadcasting. We hope to make this venture a perpetuating fund, an endowment fund that will live through all of our lives to keep this eternal light burning throughout 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We're proud to make this possible.
Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
That'll fit in the Mac machine, John. Now you can deposit it. Let me now recognize the superintendent, and maybe he can give us some views and updates on the Eternal Peace Light Memorial here. Superintendent John Ernst.
Thanks, Ken. I'd just like to say that we wouldn't be standing here today making this presentation. I wouldn't be standing here accepting this check on behalf of the National Park Service if it wasn't for the efforts that Ken Cole has put forward. I have to say that Ken has acted as a one-man band, rallying all of the interest in the project, and I have to give him all the credit for getting us to this point. And I want to thank the people who just made the check presentation. Their plans for the fundraising effort, what I've seen of it so far, looks like it's going to be a very successful fundraiser. And the people from Pennsylvania Natural Gas Associates have assured me that their participation is going to make reaching that goal quite a lot easier. So I just want to thank all of the folks who are standing behind me here. And I'd like to recognize a fellow on the end here is Len Kinder. He's a gas industry engineer. He's consulting with the National Park Service, and my Chief of Maintenance, David Ballard. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, John. I'd like to introduce Barry Cozy. Barry is the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Natural Gas Associates, and that's a coalition of 55 gas producers, and I'm proud to say we will be burning Pennsylvania natural gas when we ignite the Peace Memorial when we hear official word from Washington. Barry?
Thank you, Ken. I'd just like to say I think it's particularly appropriate that this flame would be lit once again with natural gas. Our association represents all of the major natural gas producers, independent producers in Pennsylvania. And through Ken's leadership, our role will be to provide gas directly from wells located in the Commonwealth at prices substantially below market levels to help fund the bills related to firing this flame for the Eternal Peace Light here. And we certainly thank Ken for his leadership in this matter, and we're delighted that Pennsylvania Gas, through a Pennsylvania utility to a Pennsylvania monument of this significance, is going to once again take place. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Jim Stipe mentioned about the future funding for the monument. Chris Huber of WSBA, who I think is vice president of that organization, is going to head up a committee, and gentlemen here from York County, I understand, and we will be naming others from Adams County will be serving on this fundraising board, hopefully to raise tens of thousands of dollars so that we can set up an account. So in the future, the interest from the monies raised will be used to pay for the fuel bill on an annual basis. So that committee will be formed in the very near future with Chris Huber's leadership, and along with the corporations, and we invite anybody interested in joining us in that effort to have the eternal flame here forever at Gettysburg again from 1988 henceforth. So we thank you for coming, and if the press would like to come forward and ask any individual questions, the gentleman here will be glad to answer them. Thank you very much.
Tell me on my microphone here where the money is coming from.
Okay, right now the three main corporations contributing to this would be Waste Management of North America with its two divisions, Modern Landfill and Waste Management of York, Pennsylvania. Stewart and March Incorporated with Tim Tate out of York, Pennsylvania. And out of Mannheim, Pennsylvania is Hamilton Excavation with Chip Gerhardt as president. We are the ones putting the seed money into, the $8,500 seed money into the endowment fund, which we hope to be a perpetuating fund. We're looking forward to the help of WSBA or Susquehanna Broadcasting over the next 2 years here with fundraising events to raise up to $100,000 to have the self-perpetuating account pay for the gas forevermore, as far as we're concerned, for the light.
Okay, how did the three companies come together?
Well, they come together out of me twisting the arms of the other two, so that's how it came together. I had a personal interest in the Peace Light, having been from Adams County, spending a lot of my summers up here on the battlefield and taking tours. We had a lot of out-of-state guests coming into our hunting club at that time, and we used to bring them up here to show them the battlefield and the Peace Light. I entirely agree with King Cole when I first heard about the project, that when they put the light on, they really took the heart out of the flame itself, and I wanted to be a part in any way that I could of putting that back together. And with the blessing of Waste Management in North America, we were able to help in doing that.
Are you acting as representative of this group?
I'm going to be president of the board that is taking place to be formed to raise money. I'll be myself, Tim Clark will be on that board, King Cole will be on the board, Chris Huber will all be part of the fundraising events taking place.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you.